So you come to me on the day of Cardfighters Network. Just kidding, guys. What's up, Card Fighters? Ryan here from Vanguard Central, bringing you guys episode 2 of Cardfighters Network. So stay tuned.
Stand up, Vanguard!
So today I want to talk a little about a very, very important deck that's coming out because of post set 6. It's going to be this deck right here. Bam! Revengers. Why is Raging Form so good again? We don't know. But let's go ahead and check it out. I got a few things to talk about here, guys. So right here, this is the deck we're looking at. This is CardProtagonist video. The reason why this is actually not a bad deck is because this is the Japan build that I was talking about in the previous episode. And this did really well. Unfortunately, it got 3rd place and it lost to Thing Blaster, but I'm sure there's some situation because this deck is absolutely amazing. This is devastating. It has so much speed, so much aggression, so much power. And the reason why it makes it happen is because of this bag of D right here. This is Raging Form Dragon. He's from set 12 for the new players. He is one of like the older bosses for Revengers. But he's back and stronger than ever thanks to 2 new cards and of course 1 SOC card that everyone's looking for right now, which people underestimated a lot, which I thought it was still a good card, is Willy Revenger Mana. So I have these 3 tabs open as well, which I'm going to talk about a little into detail about each card. But basically, first I want to start off with a little bit of the speed of the deck. Now the reason why this deck is so good is because it's fast. It makes plays happen right away before stride, as once your opponent is at 2 still, and once you're at 3, so it can actually make a lot of aggressive plays early in the game. Like there's the possible triple Vanguard attack that you can actually see in one of CardProtagonist's video, which is a very good example, where he actually stood Raging Form twice, enabling 3 Vanguard attacks while his opponent was still at grade 2. So it's very devastating. And the reason why that makes it happen is because of Mana. And Mana has the ability to tutor out your ones ridiculously hard, and it's free. And the reason why it's such a good card is because it gets your ones that you actually need to make plays happen. And so for example, if you guys don't know Mana's skill, so basically when it's placed on Vanguard or rear, you search for your deck for up to 1 grade 1 or less Revenger in its card name, call it to rear guard in the same column as it, and then at the end of turn it goes back to the bottom of the deck. But that skill doesn't even matter because you're going to eat it with Raging Form anyway. And so this deck is really fast because of Mana. When you're on grade 2 or even 3, you're able to rush, and you're able to make aggressive plays with Raging Form because you can instantly get out the Limit Break Enabler. And also the new card, Maul, which is another one I want to talk about in a little bit, because he basically enables you to get the other copy of Raging Form in your hand for free. It's 1 counterblast, but you get it from the deck with Mana. And yeah, your rear guard columns are actually going to be pretty weak, but it's pretty much your Vanguard doing a lot of the work. Which is good, because it kind of beats the speed of Chaos, where your opponent has to be at 3 in order to start locking stuff, unless they're playing Mobius Breath. And so once you're at Raging Form, once you ride to 3, the best scenario, honestly, is when your opponent is at 2 still, and then you ride first to 3. And then you have Mana in your hand, and then you can just go ham. You make stuff happen, because Mana will either get out Vigor Revenger Maul, or you get Willy, you get Finnegas, the Limit Break Enable. What happens here is that you're able to ensure a restand right away because you +1 off Mana, and you also get to get your Twin Drives off by retiring free rear guards that you just called from the deck with Mana, due to Raging Form's cost, because you retire 3 rear guards in order to ride another Raging Form copy from your hand and gets +10k. What's really good is that even Raging Form's 2nd skill, it's counterblast 1 when it attacks, it gets +3k. So it can swing at 14 or 24 on the restand play or re-ride play against their 9k Vanguard. And so if they plan to like drop 2 10s, like it's still going to be risky. You can give that extra +1 counterblast +3k power to push even more cards out of their hand, which is very, very aggressive. You'd think that, yeah, 1 counterblast, but dude, it's so good. So this deck right here, this is not my deck profile, like I said, this is CardProtagonist deck. Please check him out. He's right over here, guys, if you don't see it. So Raging Form, this is actually running a 7 grade 3. This is actually the build that I would personally make also, because it's very good, it's very aggressive. Abyss is more of a game closer in this deck, because the fact that this deck doesn't really use counterblast at all. In fact, only 3 cards use it that you actually use it for, which would be not Mana. Blaster Dark Revenger Abyss, if you want to pop that back row. You use it for Revenger Dark Breath Angel, and you also use it for Maul. So having 3 Abyss in here is pretty good, because if you're able to get it, then you can set up that Legion for game if you haven't already killed them with Raging Form, which you probably already will. So it's a nice backup to have. Personally, I don't really like Mordred in it just because it's slow. If you sit on the break guard, nothing else can happen really. And going on to grade 2s, this is the grade 2 that made it happen. Besides Mana, who is literally MVP and our Lord and Savior in this deck, we're talking about Revenger Dark Breath Angel. And so Dark Breath Angel here, her skill is just absolutely amazing because it enables you that third Raging Form restand. Or not third, but second restand, which is a third Vanguard attack, whatever. So if you guys don't know its skill, it's Counterblast 1. When this unit is put into the drop zone from Rearguard Circle from the cost of one of your unit's ability, Raging Form, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Revenger in its card name, you can pay the cost, which is Counterblast 1. You search for a grade 1 Revenger, call it to Rearguard, and at the end of turn, it dies. So it's the same thing as Mana, but it's when this itself dies. So on the first Raging Form restand, as long as you sack 3, and then this being included, you're guaranteed another 3 on board, considering you had a full field. Which is actually really good, because it guarantees you that restand play. And then also what works is Maul. So let's say that the first attack for Raging Form was with Dark Breath Angel, some other grade 1, and some other grade 0. Like say you're a starter, for example, which would be Judge Bow. The reason why Dark Breath is so good is because its ability to get that grade 1 card with Revenger, which you would want to call Maul. So if you guys don't already know his skill, it's when this unit is placed on Rearguard. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Revenger in its card name, you can actually pay the cost, and you choose a card on your Vanguard circle, and you search your deck for the same card and add it to your hand. So this essentially guarantees you another Raging Form for the other restand. So the way the timing works, you would already have to have the second Raging Form copy in your hand because you have to pay the cost first and everything, resolve that effect, and then you'd be able to resolve the other Maul skill. So it guarantees you the other Raging Form. You get what I'm saying? So that's actually amazing in general. So Maul's overall a great card because you can call it either from hand or through Mana or even through Dark Breath, and it's at the cost of either 1 or 2 Counterblast, which is honestly nothing in this deck because you just take all the attacks and it's like, oops. Or you can guard early. Like, you can guard early, you can take a lot of attacks, take a little attacks. Like, it's up to you. It's all play preference, but that's what's good about this deck. It sets up situationally where if you have the cards early in your hand to guard, you go ahead and guard. Because you're going to get your pieces later with Mana, as long as you open up with it, which is good. So as long as you open with a Mana and another grade 2, and you can call this to Rearguard, you're guaranteed your restand. So as long as you can, put down cards. But then you're going to be twin driving anyways, every time, which is good, because you don't have to ever discard cards from your hand. So you can +6, okay, not +6 in a turn, but you can drive check 6 times in a turn while retiring 6 units. Which honestly isn't that bad, because Dark Breath and Mana give you free cards. So you net a lot more cards than you'd think. Alright, and so according to CardProtagonist build, this is a very simple lineup. It's running the 4 Dark Breath, the 4 Blaster Dark Abyss, which is because it's a Legion main, and also its skill is just amazing. And it's also $45! And then 4 copies of Mana. So the grade 2s are very simple. You're running 12, because you need 4 Dark Breath, you need 4 Mana, like guaranteed. You want to get these on the board ASAP, and you want to get Mana to tutor out your 1s. And for grade 1s, pretty simple. You're running the 4 PGs, which are Revenger, I think just because of the special Counterblast for Maul. And then also if you need another retire target, just in case you're trying to really go for game. 4 Finnegas, which is Limb Break Enabler, and then 4 Maul, because Maul is just amazing. And then I believe here we have 2 10k attackers, just because we need another Revenger in its name. You can honestly run anything else. Let's see, I think an okay copy that you can tech out is like the Raging Form 10k boss, or honestly anything. Any Revenger grade 1 honestly works, which isn't bad at all. And then of course right here, guys, we have 8 crit, 4 draw, 4 heal. It's a very aggressive deck. I think 12's too much because you need draws definitely to get the pieces that you need for the deck. So 8-4 is just right. The starter is Judge Bow for this, and I totally agree with CardProtagonist on it being Judge Bow just because we are running a Phantom, which is Abyss, and it's a 5k Revenger, which is honestly the best part about it, because you don't want to get 10k when it passes early. That's just the worst. Especially if you have to ride Mana, that's just atrocious. Having Judge Bow as a 5k starter is good, and it fools a lot of people thinking that you're playing Abyss, because maybe they'll know you're playing Raging Form by now, but yeah. Anyway, do you even stride, bro? Do you even stride, bro? Honestly, I can say I don't know. because you're gonna kill them with the triple restand right away if you get it off. Like I said, CardProtagonist does have a nice video where it shows what's going on here. I'm not sure if you actually stride it. I don't see that there would be a need for it because all your aggression is going through Raging Form and you can kill him with Abyss right after. But for this G-Zone, I think I would totally do this as well. Maybe run like one Madu here and then also a Grim Recruiter just for some toolboxing. But yeah, if you're playing Shadows, you're playing at least 2 R-Geyser just because the hand is, it's going to be there. For Diablo, because Diablos, there's really no need for G-Zone, honestly. You can play something as vanilla as this, even though this is expensive, but something as vanilla as this, and you can get away with it just because Raging Form is that strong, where you don't need to have to rely on your strides in order to close off the opponent. So Raging Form has the speed, it has the aggression, it has the toolboxing that it needs. You have strides to back you up if you don't close them out, which you already should, but overall, I think this deck is going to be amazing come set 6, which is actually coming out next week. So get ready for that, guys. Get ready for next episode. Next episode, we are going to be talking about Thing Blaster and why that deck is also very good. So that's pretty much it for today's episode, guys. Thanks for watching. Like our videos. Comment below if you guys have any questions about this series. And subscribe for more content. Vanguard Central, out.